Ladies and gentlemen, it is the James Whale radio show online of 2014. Cue titles.
James Whale, the voice of reason on the James Whale radio show.
So here we are in a new year. I'd like to tell you I'm sitting in a revamped new studio, but sadly I can't. Because I'm not, but who knows? Things go well this year. We might be able to move to fabulous new building. I might be able to move from where I'm sitting now into the room next door, which is less cluttered and less crowded. But anyway, may I wish you all a very happy, prosperous and healthy new year from both me and from Robbo, our producer.
Happy New Year!
Don't put on stupid voices, please.
That's my normal voice.
Yes, I know, and we must talk about that and must work on it. Well, of course, people have been saying, by the way, when do you start doing your new breakfast radio show for the BBC? Let me tell you straight away, it'll be from the 3rd of February, all being well. Join me on BBC Essex from 6 in the morning until 9. And, of course, if you miss out on Whaleisms, then you have got us here 24/7. Actually, the interesting thing, Robbo, here on jameswhaleradio.co.uk, which you can find in all myriad of places, and we'll probably bore you with it as we go through, you can how many 50? This is the 15th programme
15,
that
yeah.
you and I... What did you say?
I said 15, yeah.
Yeah. We've got that funny thing that if you talk and I talk at the same time...
No one can hear each other.
Yeah, we'll have to bear that in mind, won't we?
Mm-hmm.
So here we are. This is the James Whale radio show with a little help from him and a little help from you. A little later we'll be talking to my very good friend, former colleague on that radio station that I can mention LBC, but it's just all the other gumph I find it difficult to talk about, as you know. He's left, and James was a one-time banker. No, banker. And he's going to come on and give us a sort of rundown later of what the new year holds for us financially, whether it's worth trying to buy a house, whether anybody's ever going to have any chance of buying a house, whether our money will be worth anything this year. So I thought that's what we would do, if that's all right with you. What else have we got to look forward to this year? Well, we've got to look forward to the forthcoming election, haven't we?
Is it happening this year?
No, next year, so 2015, but this year will be fascinating because, of course, all the politicians, nearly dropped my glasses on the floor, all the politicians will be vying for position, if you like, and to try and make us think they're lovely. So we might actually get some fairly good times this year.
Can we get some of them on the show?
Yeah. In fact, I'll tell you what I will do, because, of course, this immigration thing, everybody's concerned about. I'll get Nigel Farage on the show in the near future. But the interesting thing over the last weekend, let me tell you, it's the 2nd of January today. This is for those people who listen to me, over. Do you know some people listen to the same program over and over and over again?
Really?
Yeah, no, they go back and they download it and they listen again and again and again. Well, I don't mind. You can listen as long as you like. But this is live on the 2nd of January. Happy New Year. Oh, by the way, did you have a good Christmas?
I did, thank you. Did you?
Did you have a good New Year?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Well, no, Mrs. W and I, living in the south, suffered the trials and tribulations of the storms. Not only had we been living for a little while without electricity, as I told you earlier today, I don't think we could do the show today. The electricity's off. But it's back on now. And then we had flooding in through the ceiling of the living room because the wind was blowing so hard, it was pushing it in. You know, you get some of these air bricks and things in the walls, and I think it was coming in there. I'm not sure, and just driving me mad. So let's say hi to all those people who've suffered flood damage. Hi, won't make you feel any better, but we're thinking of you. Yeah, the government's put Cobra together so that they can talk about the poor response in certain areas.
Put Cobra together?
Bad weather. Yeah, the Cobra is their special committee where they sit round and say, oh, the weather was very bad.
I thought it was something they got for Christmas.
No, no.
Like a Cobra jigsaw puzzle or something.
Do you know, Mrs. W and I didn't give or receive Christmas presents this year.
Why not?
Well, I was working all the time. I've been working every single day, including New Year's Day. And we just sort of put it on hold, really.
So what
you feel sorry for me now, don't you?
I do. What are you thinking of getting her?
I don't know. I'm going to wait until I've paid off some of the bills I've acquired over 2013.
Okay.
I think that's what I'm going to do.
What about a bucket?
No, we've got so many of those in the living room. We've got 4 in the living room at the moment, catching the drips. And we're just waiting to see if it heads towards the lights. Then obviously we're going to have to turn the lights off in there, aren't we?
Indoor fireworks.
Oh, shut up. It's all right for you sitting there in North Wales where nothing ever happens.
It was windy. Our neighbours lost their fence.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, well. I hope you're going to help them put it back.
I was the one that put it back.
Goodbye.
Mainly because it was between ourselves and them.
Yeah. I've lost my thread now. We were talking about MPs, weren't we? And,
immigration.
I know, the problem of immigration. That's the problem. Everybody was getting excited. Now, I was on Sky doing the papers this morning. And again, everybody is getting excited about immigration. Now, we are a small country, granted, and we can't keep taking people from all over the world or we'll sink, granted. But I thought, wasn't it slightly embarrassing, MPs headed by Keith Vaz going to Luton Airport to wait for the hordes of Romanians and Bulgarians coming into the country, and half a dozen poor people came in, confronted by Britain's media circus, a couple of members of Parliament, and wondering what the hell's going on.
They're getting a royal welcome.
Yeah, well, everybody's going to say, you want to go to Britain because not only do they look after you and put you on benefits, but also the politicians come and welcome you into the country. I mean, there's a picture of the paper of Keith Vaz sitting down, having coffee and croissants with a couple of guys who just walked in with their backpacks on, saying, here, we've come in to do some work. Look, if this country really is concerned about immigration, if this country really thinks that people from Eastern Europe in particular, why we're focusing on Eastern Europe, I think there are a lot of people coming here from all over the world, lots of people coming here who shouldn't come here, but usually people from the EU countries come here because they have a job. I'd like to know what the figures are. I noticed somebody in the mail today say, oh, yes, BBC again, putting out all the wrong information. Well, I was doing some interviews on the BBC, and let me tell you, nobody tells me what to say or how to angle the interview. As a broadcaster, I want to try and get the truth. I don't have any if we've got too many people, if they're taking jobs, if they're getting housing that people in this country can't get above us, I want to know, and I'll talk about it. But when you investigate it, when you look at what's actually happening, that doesn't stand up. We are overcrowded. We're overcrowded because there are a lot of Brits here, lots of people who were born and live here, and successive governments haven't actually done anything to increase the amount of schools we have, to increase our hospitals, to increase the infrastructure, to take the fact that there are so many more people living in this country than there used to be. So, you know, it worries me slightly that you see these stories in a lot of these papers, and quite a few times I think, well, first of all, some of these stories are downright racist, which worries me. You know what happened in Germany before the Second World War, where they tried picking on foreigners there just to alleviate all the problems, the economic problems the country had. And then secondly, we're allowing people, and I'm sorry if you're insulted by this, but we're allowing people who are slightly inadequate. Oh, come on, they're very inadequate. Most of them probably have appeared on the Jeremy Kyle show, to allow themselves to be convinced that their downfall, the fact that they haven't done much in life, is not because they're stupid and ignorant and idiotic, but because there are too many foreigners here. Well, I think that's pretty dangerous, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
What?
I thought you were having a drink then.
I am.
Oh.
But am I being too harsh? I mean, I don't know. Am I being too harsh?
No, I don't think so. I think a lot of people complain about no jobs and whatever. I don't think it's down to the foreigners, is it?
Well, I don't think it is. I mean, Barry Scott. Okay, Barry, hi, Barry. If you want to get in touch with the show, by the way, go to my Facebook page, and you can get in touch with me there. It's easy. Just go to facebook.com/James Whale Radio. You can email me, can't you, at jameswhaleradio@gmail.com, and we will use some of your thoughts in future programs. Barry Scott. Barry says too many immigrants, countries overcrowded, all building, plumbing, carpentry, etc. now done by undercutting Eastern Europeans. It's a disgrace. Send me the facts of that, Barry. Send me the names of people from Eastern Europe who are doing jobs for less, okay? Because I can never find, well, in London you can find the fabulous plumbers, of course. Pimlico Plumbers, great company, employs all sorts of people, primarily British people. But in lots of parts of this country, you try and find a plumber. You try and find an electrician. You try and find a carpenter. There aren't that many out there who you can pick up the phone. And with flood damage and stuff, we'll all be looking for builders and people now. If you can find them, do the job at a reasonable price. And by the way, turn up. Here's another thing that gets really up my nose. You get somebody to come in and do a job and they'll turn up. Quite often, if it's if it's somebody born and bred in Britain, they'll come in and they'll say, yeah, all right, yeah, well, we could do that. What about putting the kettle on, love? Let's have a cup of tea first. You don't get that from people who are interested in working. Maybe I'm just got out the wrong side of the bed this morning. I don't know. But I just think that we are using immigration as an excuse, and people can make that an excuse for their own shortcomings. So, Barry, listen, if there are too many immigrants coming into this country and they're undercutting people, give me the proof, and then I'll agree with you, and then we can do something. Alan Phelan, interesting. Alan Phelan says, send them back. What, Rob?
Send them back where?
Exactly. I find that ignorant sort of, Do you know, I'm just going off at a tangent again. I was standing in the studio today just talking, and then I can't stand the Jeremy Kyle show. I find it embarrassing, and I only ever see it when I'm standing somewhere. And I was just standing watching it, and he really is an ignorant man.
Jeremy Kyle,
and he actually, and it really makes my skin creep watching the program. First of all, watching him go nose to nose with some poor inadequate man or woman, then pointing his finger at them and quite often jabbing in the air at them, and then them sort of, because they're not able to communicate and not able to function and talk. All this flipping program does is show the worst of the worst in this country, and I don't know why. Can anybody just email me? Email me and tell me why you enjoy watching suffering like that on television. If anybody is a fan of the Jeremy Kyle show, just get in touch with me and tell me what it is that you find so entertaining about watching people in terrible states of distress. I'd be fascinated to know what is the fascination of that sort of television. No answer, Rob. I hear a gap.
No, there's no answer to that, because I think that I just aren't...
You're a fan of it, aren't you? You enjoy watching it.
I've never actually watched it. I've seen clips, and I just don't understand, probably like you, why anyone would want to air their dirty laundry in public in such a bad way. I agree, but I don't understand why apparently it's very, very popular. Why would people watch it? Maybe they give you 250 quid for every time you go on the show. A bit like, You've Been Framed, but worse.
Yeah, well, if I thought I got paid that much, I'd go on the show. But why would people watch it, though? Why do people turn their television on to watch it? That's what I want to know. Jan Trim got in touch with the programme and said, James, we moved to France from the UK. We're both English. We have to fund ourselves, no freebies. I agree with that attitude, and I am saddened that successive British governments feel free to give the taxpayers money. It is not to the governments, you're quite right, Jan, to anyone willy-nilly. But you see, that's the problem. It's not given, and I would agree with you, Jan, if that was the case. If people from other countries could come here, go straight to wherever and get money and get housed, then I would be as irate as everybody else is who thinks that happens. It doesn't happen. It's impossible. We need to make it more difficult to come into this country. But what we don't seem to do is when people come in here and then admit they're here illegally, we don't, we just let them into the country. Forget all the people who come here legally, who have a reason and have permission to come here, who work, who more often than not contribute, pay taxes. Legal immigration, forget that for a moment. It's the people who come here illegally, the people that we should be sending out of the country, that we don't do. We don't do it. And as soon as somebody says, well, why can't anybody comes in and claims asylum, then they claim asylum, and we have to put them somewhere, and then we have to investigate it. And by the time they can't work and all that, by the time we've done that, lots of them have disappeared. We don't know where they are. We can't find them again. And that is a big problem. And nobody seems to be interested in doing anything about that. And if you say, as soon as somebody comes to this country and claims asylum, we look after them, we house them in a camp, or perhaps we shouldn't use the word camp, we house them in an institution, whatever you want to call it, where they don't have the freedom to roam through the country until their cases have been investigated. We look after their medical needs, we educate them and their children, we look after them, we give them sanctuary, but we find out whether or not they have a reason to come here and seek asylum, and then we move on from there. But what we do at the moment is we just people say, "Well, I've come here, I'm fleeing tyranny." We say, "Right, well, you can't do this, you can't do that, but off you go. Here's an address to go to and try and find some accommodation. You can't work, we'll give you your basic needs," and then people just are free to disappear. We need to get to the bottom of this debate because it's going on, and what worries me is we'll get more of this, the politicians will encourage it so that we are taking our minds off perhaps more important things happening in the country, the way the health service is not being run properly, the way that we're not building enough homes for people, the way that the banks aren't working properly. I'm a bit on a tirade today, aren't I?
You are. Crikey.
It's the new year.
Well, start as you mean to go on.
Well, yeah. So please get back in touch. You know the address to get in touch with me. What is it?
It's jameswellradio@gmail.com or facebook.com/jameswellradio.
Okay, well, Sandra Amos, there needs to be better organised filter system put into place like there are in other countries. At the moment, all and sundry can come in with no boundaries. In fact, if we came out of the EU altogether, it would be better. I'm not absolutely sure that that's right, Sandra, but it's a debate we need to have. Jill Worsley said, shut the door. It's never too late. No more people from anywhere in the world. We're full to bursting. How would we feel, by the way, if Spain, other countries where Brits went to live, did the same, and we suddenly had loads of Brits coming back to this country? And why is it we never complain? London has one of the biggest French populations in the world.
Does it?
There's something like over 1 million French people living, working perfectly well in London. Got their own radio station. They integrate quite well, and there are no problems.
Wow, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? Well, that's check it out. Radio France. Have a listen to their radio station. Very good if you want to learn French. Okay, so listen. Thoughts on immigration. We'll try and get Nigel Farage on and talk to Nigel about it and see where we can go from there. But it is something that's going to carry on, and we'll all be talking about it. But before we all start tearing our hair out and blaming everything on somebody else, we need to look to ourselves, don't we? There's another worrying story I did on the radio today. Something like a million youngsters feeling that they have no place in society, that they've not all of them, obviously, contemplated suicide. They don't feel the country offers them anything. Young people leaving school feel, oh, there's nothing for us, nothing. And that's another thing that, you're young. There are opportunities for everybody if you want to take them.
Totally agree.
Unfortunately, some people can't, can they? Sorry, Rob, what were you going to say?
Totally agree. You find most people that you see on TV have got somewhere from nothing. So they should be an inspiration, I think.
Well, look at most of the entrepreneurs as well,
Yep.
who a lot of them left school early, came up with ideas, went off and made money, and made money subsequently so they could employ other people.
Life is what you make it.
Life is what you make it. Listen, time to give away something. Let's give something away. Our good friends, sponsors of the show at Love Film, are continuing, of course, with their sponsorship, which gives you something as well. They are giving all listeners to the James Well Radio Show a month's free trial of Love Film. Now, you could, if you took it out over Christmas, you'll have had some great movies absolutely free. Okay, now if you would like to take part in this or take advantage of this great offer coming your way from Love Film, all you've got to do is this: go to our website, jameswhaleradio.co.uk, click on the Love Film banner at the top of the screen. Do it. Just demonstrate, Rob. Just to move it right. Okay, you see the Love Film banner?
Right at the top. Top right.
At the top of the screen. Right. Click on that. That's it. Click on that. And then follow the links, fill them in. Now, honestly, you won't get harassed with all sorts of advertising stuff, not unless Rob and I want to.
That's true.
Click on that, and register, and then you will get all the movies you want to see from there free for a month. If you like it, you could carry on with it. If you don't have to do it. All right? So you can watch loads of films, and it helps bring money into the show so that the show keeps going. And I just a great way of seeing movies, because I used to go and buy, DVDs, and you could get really cheap DVDs in supermarkets, £5-6. But then you've seen it, you've got it, and how often do you look at the movie again? So this, you can watch as many movies as you can cram in free for 1 month. How many movies can you watch in a month? Well, even if you had nothing else to do, you could watch 2-3 movies a day?
I'd say 2-3 movies a day would probably be the optimum, I think.
So that's 21 movies a week, 7 days a week?
Yep. That's a big number.
21 movies a week. That's 42 movies a fortnight. That's 84 movies a month.
For free.
Now imagine if you paid 84. Well, just imagine you paid £1 for a movie.
Yep.
That would be 84 quid you spent in a month. You've saved that already.
Indeed.
So maybe you pay £5. That's about 400 quid. You've just saved yourselves a month.
I suppose you wouldn't watch that many films, would you, if you were buying them?
You wouldn't what?
You wouldn't watch that many films if you were buying them, I suppose.
Well, no, I don't think anybody's going to watch that many movies anyway. I don't. We should have a competition for the person who's downloaded the most movies and watched them from Love Film for a month.
That'd be good. Yep. Just let us know.
Let us know how many movies you managed to get crammed in free for 1 month. All right, register by going to the website jameswhaleradio.co.uk. Click on the Love Film banner. Follow the links. Download the movies, and knock yourself out.
Yeah,
knock yourself out. Listen, I want to say hi to our friends. Happy New Year to all those people, a myriad of people that put this program out. And they are, we've got the 80smusicstation.com. I should play some 80s music in this. cruisefm.co.uk, merseyradio.co.uk, RFTK Radio, trentsound.com, Sherbet Radio, that's the new London taxi radio station, mypicktv.co.uk, coastradio.co.uk, justradio.net, and Audioboo and talentgb.com. Check out talentgb.com's website. It's entertaining. And if you want to have your radio station, if you have an online radio station that would like to put this program out, get in touch with Rob and we'll let you know how to do it. By the way, I am available, of course, if you want to book me. After dinner speaking, lunches, motivational talks, just get in touch with me at the usual address, which is
jameswhaleradio@gmail.com.
Yes, James Wheel. James Wheel, I'm going, Geordie. jameswhaleradio@gmail.com. After dinner speaking, voiceovers, just sitting here, we could do voiceovers. Right, shall we have some music now?
Yes, please.
This is from Parry Ray. Now, Parry Ray, and by the way, we are, for the program, looking for more new talent, all right? much more new talent. So if you have a band or if you're a singer, if you have a CD you could let us have, this is the address to send it to.
My house.
Yeah, don't be so smart.
Well,
don't be so... My house. How does anybody know what my house is or where my house
just Google Rob's house.
Don't flipping Google Rod's house, because when you see the state of it, you want to be... Look, just get in touch with James Whale. Look, I tell you what, just do it the usual way around. Facebook us, okay, facebook.com James Whale Radio, or send it to me, jameswhaleradio@gmail.com. Get in touch, and we will, if you're good, we will give you a bit of exposure here on the program. So this is Parry Ray, available on iTunes. First song, 7 Days, from an EP, which is called, strangely enough, 7 Days.
So I'm gonna get you out of my head in just 7 days, 7 days. I go out every night, dedicate these 7 days to you. And you could sing me a new song, say you got it all wrong, it wouldn't matter at all, 'cause there's 7 ways to get over you. And I could slip into the same old routine, the same old has-been, the circle never ends. And I could fool myself that things could be different, but you never listen. Close my eyes and count to 10. I'm still talking, you're still here. Wish that you just disappear. You always were so frustrating, and I'm so tired of waiting. So I'm gonna get you out of my head. It's only 7 days, 7 days, and I go out every night, dedicate these 7 days to you. And you can sing me a new song, say you got it all wrong, it wouldn't matter at all, if there's 7 days, and I got 7 ways to get over you. I started looking at old photographs, how we used to laugh, but I think we've seen better days. I stopped going to the same old places, familiar faces, never liked them anyway. Something old for something new, 7 days to see it through. Time seems never ending, with every day I'm spending. So I'm gonna get you out of my head. It's only 7 days, 7 days, and I go out every night, dedicate these 7 days to you. And you can sing me a new song, say you got it all wrong, it wouldn't matter at all, if there's 7 days, then I got 7 ways to get over you. To get over you. So I'm gonna get you out of my head in just 7 days, 7 days. So I'm gonna get you out of my head. It's only 7 days, 7 days, and I go out every night, dedicate these 7 days to you. And you can sing me a new song, say you got it all wrong, it wouldn't matter at all, if there's 7 days, and I got 7 ways to get over you.
So there we are, Parry Ray. Now, Parry Ray, of course, very nice lady. And that was the title track from the EP 7 Days. It's not the catchiest title for a song, but I liked it. And we've got another song for her coming soon. And I'm particularly looking for reggae. So if you are a reggae band, you've got a reggae CD, all you've got to do is get in touch with us. Robbo will tell you the address to get in touch with now.
jameswellradio@gmail.com.
See, you're not as bad as people say, are you?
No, I'm not.
No. Rob, of course, is the so-called brains behind this. Just a quick reminder to our sponsors, if you would like to have films free for a month, we did this before, all you've got to do is go to the website, click on Love Films, do it now, click on Love Films, follow the links, and you can obtain free movies for a month, courtesy of our sponsors, Love Film. All right, so do that. Whilst you're doing that, let's chat to my old friend, Mr. James Max, formerly of LBC, formerly of The Apprentice, and now of the BBC in London. James, hello.
Hi, James. Very nice to speak to you once again.
I know. Did you get me on your first show? Did you realise I'd phoned in?
It twigged about halfway through. Like there was just a couple of words that came out of your mouth, and I thought, "Hang on a second, this isn't the caller that I don't recognise." But of course, I couldn't admit on air that you had telephoned my show, so I just went with it, and you got more and more outrageous as we went.
Well, the other day, you're in good company. The other day, I phoned Tony Blackburn's program for a request for my favourite piece of Motown music.
Well, Mr. Blackburn is a true legend, so, well, why wouldn't you?
Now, listen, James, first explain to my listeners as well, and to me, because we've never spoken about this. Now, were you in the first ever edition of The Apprentice?
Yes, I was. It was the first series, filmed back in 2004, aired on BBC Two of all places, back in 2005, and I managed to reach the semi-finals before being unceremoniously bundled off.
But you must have been quite old for an apprentice even then.
What are you saying? I was 34 at the time we filmed it. So the only reason that I applied is because I'd watched the American version, and the winner of the American version, I think, was 33 or 34. So I thought, well, apprentice isn't perhaps the right word, and the way it was billed, and we didn't really know what the prize was or what the job was you'd be working for, he was then Sir Alan Sugar. And I thought, well, there's an interesting opportunity. There's something to work for. So to me, it was quite an interesting opportunity. None of us knew that it was going to be the big sort of runaway entertainment success that it's become. I think all of us saw it as a route in to get this job. And then afterwards, well, you pick up the pieces and decide what you're going to do next with your life and your career.
Now, why did you want to go on television when you were a successful financier, banker, money man at a young age? There you were, you know, one of the people we all love to hate at the moment, I suppose, making fortunes. Why did you want to change?
Well, at the time that I applied, I was working for a private equity firm. And working for a private equity firm is very different from working for a normal company, because you work for them for a period of a fund. And when your fund comes to the end of its life, you have to decide whether you're going to sign up to the new fund. And at that time, I was quite worried about what was going to happen with the markets, because you're paid at the back end. You're paid on the performance of the fund. You're not really paid through having a whopping great salary or bonuses. The bonuses come through right at the end, after the investors have had their piece, everybody else has had their piece. If the fund that you work in does really well, then you get a nice piece of it. And I just thought, I don't really think that the economics of this look right. I didn't feel comfortable for signing up for another 7 years working with this particular company. I thought, I've got to do something different. The way that these companies work means that you have a really difficult legal grab, if you like, on you, the individual, and what you can go and do. So for a year, I was not able to go and do anything else with a financial institution. So I thought, right, well, I better have a year doing something totally different, and this is what happened.
And do you regret changing or not?
Not in the slightest.
Because contrary to public opinion, we in the media don't earn, in the majority anyway, don't earn huge, massive amounts of money.
No, that's absolutely right. And I think a lot of people had looked at me and said, well, why wouldn't you try and earn as much as you possibly can? And I think there are two sides to that. The first is that if you're lucky enough to have earned quite a significant sum in a period, then it allows you to perhaps be a little bit more altruistic about what you're going to go and do, because you're able to make decisions based on what you want to do rather than just going for the money. And the second point is that although the broadcasting is what people see of me, I do a lot of other things away from broadcasting that tops up the coffers.
You see, that's what I'm missing, James. Do you think I'd make a banker? Do you think in some way I could become an independent financial advisor?
I think it's a little late for you to be making those decisions. I mean, even to be honest, it's a bit late. Well, it's a bit late for somebody in their 40s to be doing it. The people who are really making the money mostly are in their late 20s, 30s. By the time you're in your 40s, 50s, although there are some people in financial services, to be honest, a lot of them are washed up or they're running the place. So if you're not running the place by your early 40s, to be honest, you probably missed the boat.
Well, how come when I was young and thrusting at school, nobody in the careers department suggested you could become a whiz kid in the city?
Well, I don't think that a lot of people really understood what was happening in the city. And if you go back as to what's happened, the FTSE 100 is now 30 years old. And back in 1984, when that was started, it was a revolution. The revolution continued throughout the 80s. We saw deregulation of the city with Big Bang, which turned London, if you like, into a global financial centre. Most careers advisors didn't have any clue what was going on and what that was going to do to the markets, because they saw the city as this sort of rather dusty, closed shop that only if you went to the right school could you possibly go there. The internationalisation of markets took place late 80s, 90s, noughties. And to be honest, I think a lot of people were left behind because they didn't spend the time to look at what was happening and what the opportunities were. Those who did, I think, have done very well out of it.
So, James, it's looking good for 2014 then?
James, I think 2014 is looking good. Of course, you have to look in your own sort of back garden, as it were, because not everything is rosy. We're not back in boom times again. We're not back in a situation where everything's wonderful. And I guess the first thing we've got to see is the economy overall adjust to its new paradigm. And what I mean by that is we're going to see quantitative easing, the printing of money by the Bank of England slowing off as economic growth seeps back in. We're seeing pressure on the pound increasing value, which is going to make imported goods cheaper, but it's also going to make exporting more difficult. We're going to see that pressure. Perhaps during the year, we may see interest rates stay where they are, but interest rate pressure, I think, is going to build towards 2015, and then we get back into a more normalised economy. But just a couple of things before we wrap this up, James. Next, possibly going to overtake Marks and Spencer as one of the biggest providers of clothing and sort of homeware, if you like, within the UK, and one of the biggest sort of domestic retailers. This is a massive change in our retail sort of high street. John Lewis powering ahead. So we're still going to see more chopping and changing within the economy. Not everything's going to do well. And when it comes to investment, think very carefully about where you're putting your money, where you're investing. Cash is no longer king. So try and save. Try and take advantage of your cash ISAs and stocks and shares ISAs and the tax benefits that the government gives you to make sure that you are saving for your future, saving for your pension, but invest wisely, invest cautiously. But I think 2014 is going to be a good year, but just keep your eyes out because there are going to be some bumps along the way.
James Max, thank you very much indeed for making banking sound friendly again. And remember, everybody, you can catch Maxi, as we're going to call him now, on BBC London every day from 3 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock in the morning. Of course, you can get him on the internet as well, wherever you are. James, talk soon.
Thank you very much, James.
You are listening to James and Rob on the James Well Radio Show.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Robbo, but we haven't done the competition yet, have we?
No, we've not done the competition.
No, okay. Well, here's the competition. Some interesting news coming up after this, by the way. But the competition, of course, last week, the winner was Andy Hill. So well done to Andy Hill, who successfully shared the link with lots of his mates. Now, this week's competition, which you will get a signed copy of Moi autobiography. That's me autobiography. A signed copy of Ashley Tubridy's EP. Are you still giving? How many have you got of those to give away?
Hundreds. They're very generous people.
Well, obviously they are. Apparently, it's a very nice EP.
It is very nice.
And the question is, as usual, all you've got to do is share this link to the show, or share the link to the show on Facebook, and then everybody that shares the link to the show on Facebook will be in with a chance of winning. And we will pick a winner, and you will find out on next week's programme. So go to facebook.com/James Whale Radio. That's right, isn't it?
That's correct.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, very good indeed. Did you know that this show and all the others we've done, how many have we done now? 16?
This is the 15th show.
Oh, this is the 15th show. Go to iTunes, search for the James Whale Radio Show, click subscribe. You can hear them all. You can have 15 hours. Why not subscribe to our James Whale Radio Show YouTube channel as well? And you'll find all the details, of course, at
youtube.com.
YouTube.
Yeah, just go to YouTube and search James Whale Radio Show. You're doing adverts for YouTube now.
I don't know. I just thought go to subscribe to our YouTube channel and find out more. And of course, whilst you're there or on our website, have a go with our sponsors at Love Film. Download by going through the link. Click on the link. Follow the bits and pieces. You can have a whole month of free movies, courtesy of Love Film. So do that, and coming soon you'll be able to get a free copy of my autobiography, the audio version. Right. Now here's the news, by the way. Robbo,
yeah.
It's everybody probably knows by now, because people tend to listen to these programs over and over again. So you probably know that our good friend Linda Nolan is in the Big Brother house.
Yeah, of course, me and you couldn't go in because we've got commitments.
Well, yes, I've had to turn it down many times. I tell you what, well, you never say never, because you never know how financially embarrassed you may become. But I don't think I could do it. I don't like close proximity with so many people.
Handcuffed to Linda Nolan.
Yeah, well, you know, lovely Linda and Jim Davidson are in there, lovely everybody. But fancy ending up being handcuffed to Liz Jones. Now that would worry me.
I think it would worry her.
Yeah, well, being handcuffed to Dappy would worry me too. But anyway, and Lionel Blair's got in there. He should know better at his age.
Mm.
And Lee from Blue. I mean, I know Lee from Blue, and he is mad in the nicest possible way. And I just don't see why some people want to. I mean, I don't know. I suppose people just. I don't know. I cannot answer the fact why people want to do that. Anybody can just email me or tweet me, the James Whale, on Twitter, and follow me. I want to get up to 40,000 followers in the next few months.
Okay, everyone follow James.
Everybody follow me at the. Now there are a few James Whales. The real one is the James Whale.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
And can I just say, Ben Jones, who works in radio, I think, and Peter Ould, who follow me on Twitter. I'm not sure whether both of a religious bent, but Peter Ould definitely is. Stop slagging off Mrs. Brown's Boys. I mean, it was the only decent thing on television.
Still Open All Hours was quite good.
Over Christmas. Still Open All Hours was okay. That was all right. I enjoyed that, I must admit. The Michael Jackson documentary, that was good. Enjoyed that. Looked like that would have been a really good concert too if it had ever gone ahead, doesn't it?
Yeah, it did. It was good. What else?
Yeah.
Only Fools and Horses is apparently coming back for a one-off.
Yeah, well, I hear the James Whale Radio Show on television may be coming back, but shouldn't have said that. Forget I even said that.
Forgotten.
Yeah.
What did you say again?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I said the James Whale Radio Show on television could come back.
Uh-huh.
Well, no. So anyway, Mrs. Brown's Boys, if you don't understand it, don't watch it. But it's some of these very terribly religious people get very offended and very upset. Don't watch it.
I thought she's, he or she, whatever you want to class him as.
Brendan Carroll,
That's
very
the one.
funny man.
I thought he is religious.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to know people's personal lives.
Well, at least his character is.
Well, his character isn't religious. You've obviously not watched it.
Her son's a priest, isn't he?
Watch it carefully. Watch it carefully. Get into the inner nuances. I would imagine it would upset some religious people quite a lot. I can understand why. If you really believe that, those things, then you would be upset. It's not. Don't watch it. Don't get upset. We can't all in life believe the same things. So if that's the one thing that I get annoyed about is people who have a belief in whatever it is. I mean, what are you?
I am a Jedi.
Yeah, you see, I am a bishop.
Are you?
No, I'd forgotten all about this. Many years ago on my late night radio show, Rayal, Google Rayal, Rayal came into the studio. We did a program, and he ordained me as a Raelian bishop.
Oh, right.
So I am a Raelian bishop, and if you check out Rayal, you will understand it all. He'd be good to do on the program actually, at another point. Just listen. We can all have our beliefs. I have beliefs. You have beliefs. But look, just because you have a belief, I don't want you to believe what I believe.
I believe what you tell me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're gullible and easily led.
No,
which is what a lot of people with strong beliefs would like everybody to be. But anyway, just lay off Mrs. Brown's Boys. I like it, and look out for Eamon Holmes in the movie version.
Is this an exclusive?
Yeah, but that slipped out as well. Never mind. Now, I was going to talk a bit about wind farms. Been very much in the news, but I think I might leave that to the next show because we're running out of time.
Okay.
But you could, Google me. Tell me what you think about wind farms. Wind farms, of course, the people who operate wind farms have been getting huge payments for turning them off in the bad weather.
What?
Yeah, you could turn them off in the bad weather, and you get loads and loads of payments.
If we go out with a big stick and stick it in the spinning turbines to stop it, do we get paid?
No, you probably get prosecuted for vandalism.
Oh, I thought we'd get some money.
And lots of people don't like wind farms because they look all right. I don't mind the way they look. It's just the fact that they don't really provide very much in the way of power, and it's hugely expensive. And the other interesting thing is that the EU have now told Britain to stop subsidising wind farms because we have wasted, in my view, just my belief, I'm not forcing it on anyone, just out there for people to talk about, it is a total waste of money. A waste of money, and we're doing it to pay lip service to the green mafia.
The green mafia.
So, that's my thought on it anyway. You can, of course, email us and tell us what you think, or you can just go to the website, jameswellradio.co.uk.
That's right.
And then while you're there, you can book me for an after-dinner speech. Or even, actually, I'll tell you what, I've decided, some of these huge celebrities apparently get paid loads of money just to turn up to somebody's private dinner or party.
What, like a dinner date?
No, so I don't know. For instance, if you were a big fan of Dappy, you could pay him a few grand and he'd come to your birthday party.
Not for a couple of weeks, though.
No? Why?
He's busy, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, you're right. He's in the Big Brother house. How silly of me. I'm actually not going to watch much of it. But if you'd like to hear my interview with Linda Nolan, which happened just a week or so ago, fun. And she didn't let on, did she?
No,
she must have known.
She must have known.
Yeah, she must have known. It's show 14, the Christmas show. And there's a bit on there of her singing with the late Bernard Manning on my TV show, which may come back. So that's it, really. Thank you to everybody for tuning in this week. If there's anything you want to hear us talk about next week, Facebook us. That's a good way to get in touch, isn't it?
Facebook is the best place, I think.
Yeah, Facebook us. Why don't you Facebook us?
The Book of Face.
Yeah, Book of Face. Right. Parry Ray is our featured artist on the programme this week. If you're a musical person, if you've got some music you'd like to share with us, I'm not having any luck getting any more reggae on the programme, am I?
We had Kev Lataxi's band. That was good.
Well, yeah, there was Kev Lataxi's band, of course. Kev Lataxi, our most, I would think he is our most prolific listener.
I thought I'd get his name in because he gets in every week. So I thought I'd...
Yeah, if he gets a mention every week, and all our other friends, particularly at talentgb.com. Always go and check out talentgb.com's website as well. So it's goodbye from him.
It is, indeed.
A little late with the program this week because of the weather. The inclement weather meant we couldn't get the show out as we wanted to.
If only they knew.
If only they knew. Right, this is called Crash, and I will leave you with Parry Ray. Tell your friends about us. Join us next week.
If you wanna use me, you just have to ask me and say it nicely, and I'm yours. If you wanna abuse me, you better do it gently, but I trust you wholly. I'm yours. I don't want a scar, so I won't keep my eyes closed. The only way that I can move on is to let myself go. I know I'm gonna burn, and I know it's gonna hurt. I'm playing with fire to keep from the cold, but you're worth it all. I need to fill the cracks, and I wanna feel the string detach. I'm not scared that my heart could smash into pieces, 'cause when I fall, I wanna crash, crash, crash. Can you guarantee that my storm won't kill me? I wear myself on my sleeve, just so you know. It's getting hard to breathe. Can we try not to speak? Won't you just hold me when I let go? I don't want a scar, so I won't keep my eyes closed. I'm trying not to keep it in, so let me explode. I know I'm gonna burn, and I know it's gonna hurt. I'm playing with fire to keep from the cold, but you're worth it all. I need to fill the cracks, and I wanna feel the string detach. I'm not scared that my heart could smash into pieces, 'cause when I fall, I'm gonna dive in head first, like a meteor colliding with the earth. I don't care that my life's about to give. You don't hurt, you can't say that you've lived. Yeah, I know I'm gonna burn, and I know it's gonna hurt. I'm playing with fire to keep from the cold, but you're worth it all. I need to fill the cracks, and I wanna feel the string detach. I'm not scared that my heart could smash into pieces, 'cause when I fall, I wanna crash, crash, crash.
Right then, that was Crash by Parry Ray from the EP 7 Days, available on iTunes. And if you want to get your music plugged on the show, just email jameswellradio@gmail.com. Take care, see you next week.
James Well, the voice of reason on the James Well Radio Show.
You're listening to the James Well Radio Show. For more information, visit www.jameswellradio.co.uk. Why not check us out on Facebook.com/James Well Radio Show, or follow James on Twitter @the James Whale. James Whale, the voice of reason.